In fact, if we can now at least bring up on the side screens, I believe we can bring up those images, I'm told, by our production team. And if we can quickly just go through those images very quickly. Yeah, take us through these images. What are we seeing?
So this is the image. Oops, you'll have to hold it there at one of the images, then I'll explain each one of them one by one. So this image, the very first one, is the image of Nau Devi. You see, since we had this maritime culture of crossing the oceans, every maritime community in ancient times used to worship a local deity, usually a female deity. So in Goa, they used to worship Nau Devi. Now, Nau Devi, there were many shrines to Nau Devi. Most of them were destroyed during the Portuguese period. But I did manage to find one in the forests of Goa. And so this is what a Nau Devi looks like. And this is the goddess to which the ancient mariners used to worship before they set out on these voyages. So before building the ship, I went and actually prayed to Nau Devi. And so this is the shrine of Nau Devi. So next image. Next image, please.
Yeah, it's playing.
Okay. So as I told you, this shipbuilding that is happening is not happening with any nails. This is being actually stitched together. So this is the image of how this stitching is done. You can see a specially prepared coir rope. This is not any old coir rope. A specially prepared coir rope is used and the holes are made in the planks. And then the coir rope is taken through them. And then the holes are fixed with a gum called kudrus. So this is how it is done. So this is one image. If you move to the next slide. So this is what the ship will look like. It's going to be 21 meters long. So it's about 65 feet long. So it's not a small ship. It will be about this length of this stage perhaps.
From the 4th century, you said.
Yeah, so it's from the 4th century because it's based on a painting in Ajanta. And you can see the square-rigged sails, which I told you are a particular kind of sail, which means that you cannot sail too much of an angle to the wind. You have to sail basically with the wind, which puts all kinds of restrictions on how you sail it. There is no rudder. You can see there's a trailing oar. And there are many other features which are completely pre-modern. So modern sailors actually have to relearn sailing for sailing these ships because its characteristics in a storm, for example, is unknown. Because remember, for example, the hull is going to flex. You know, big wave comes, the hull actually flexes inward and outward. Now, what happens to the sailing characteristics in a storm, we don't know. So all of this will have to be tested out so that we understand how it works. Similarly, modern sailors know what to do with a lantern sails and at what angle to sail to the wind. We will have to figure out what happens with a square sail and so on and so forth.
Well, safe travels from all of us here at the Times Network. Sanjeev Sanyal, a round of applause for Mr. Sanyal for that
Thank you.
Brave, adventurous sort of task that he has embarked upon. And apart from educating us on the economy and our history, now also, proving with this particular voyage some source of inspiration for all of us to look at in terms of these particular voyages. Thanks so much for sharing.
Thank you. It's a pleasure.
Thank you.
Well, thank you so much, Madhav, as well as Mr. Sanyal. And of course, best of luck for your, what you call a madcap endeavor. But it sounds enticing and very, very entertaining for all of us to see that we can actually go back to our roots, go back to the traditions and still sail forwards. That's why India is unstoppable. Thank you so much, ever so much, for joining us here on the session. A big round of applause, please. He's stitching together, if we can put it, the way forward.